Okay, class, today I'm going to start with a mini lesson about peer reviewing. So some of you might have already studied this before, you might be very familiar with it, but it's very important for us to go into specific details about peer reviewing, especially for our upcoming argumentative essays that we're going to be writing, because it is important for us to have that skill at our fingertips, and we can work on our rewriting and revising, so that we can make sure that we do very, very well on our essays. So I have a standard up here about our that will connect with our mini lesson. If anyone is interested, it is the Literacy Writing for grades 9-10. It's number 5. And it says, develop and strengthen writing as needed by planning, revising, editing, rewriting, or trying a new approach, focusing on addressing what is most significant for a specific purpose and audience. So clearly what we are going to be doing in this lesson is discussing our revising, rewriting, and editing portion of that standard. So, before we begin, I do want to make something very clear. It is so important for you to be respectful while peer reviewing. As you know, I tolerate no disrespect in my classroom. No disrespect of me, of each other, of the ant on the floor, okay? Because respect is what's going to make this human race better, and that is what we're going to do in this classroom, okay? So it's not the time, peer review is not the time for you to write on your friend's paper, this sentence really sucks, okay? It's not the time for that. It's going to help no one. You're going to get in trouble. I'm going to have to butt in. Your friend is going to get mad at you, and that's just all things that we don't want to deal with, okay? So be respectful. While peer reviewing, be respectful, be constructive, and be positive, okay? And so that is going to lead us into our first 3 words while what we are going to be thinking about while peer reviewing. So the first word is compliments. Okay, well that's easy enough. A compliment, you know, if someone sees my fabulous pink jacket and they say, oh, I love your jacket, and then you say, oh, well, thank you. That's a compliment. It's the same while peer reviewing. If you read a sentence and you say, wow, I really like that sentence, write that down on the side of their paper. Or you read the thesis and you say, wow, that thesis really grabbed me, write that down. Things like that, okay? It's compliments. It's easy. Suggestions. Okay, so this is the time where we're going to say, maybe in your head you're like, I don't really like that thesis. So you write down, suggest working on thesis, okay? Or to be more specific, to really help your friends revise and edit their papers, you say, you could suggest specific things. So what about their thesis didn't you like that you could suggest? You could say, thesis was too broad, thesis was too narrow, things like that. And then corrections. So these are going to be the more specific things. The capitalization, punctuation, word, sentence structure, this is specific. Okay, which leads us to the next 3 words. While we're thinking about these, they're going to inadvertently make us work on these. So word choice. Okay, so that is did I use the right word to describe the right thing? Or did I use a word that is at my vocabulary level? Things like that, okay? Word choice, very important. Sentence structure. That is my sentence structured properly? Which sounds kind of silly, but true. So, is my noun, subject, verb, adverb, adjective, are they all in the right order? Is my sentence structured properly? Okay, so that comes with, is my adjective modifying the right noun? Is my adverb modifying the right verb or adverb? Things like that. And then organization is going to be of your entire essay. So that is saying, did I put the right sentence in the right place? Did I put the right paragraph in the right place? And sometimes we get so down with writing, or we're on a time crunch, we waited till the last minute to write, okay, and then we slip up and we forget. It happens to me, it will happen to you. So this is for your friends to say, let's say you wrote a paragraph in your body paragraph, and you have a really good sentence stuck in the middle, and your friend reads this paragraph and says, wow, this is a really good sentence, And it could really work as a closing sentence. Okay, so then they might suggest, hey, this is a good closing sentence for this paragraph. So that goes with your organization. So to get more into the specifics, we're going to talk about revising and editing. Now, a lot of the times we synonymously think about these words, but they're actually different. So revising is going to be a little bit of a broader spectrum, whereas editing is going to be down to the specific nitty-gritty points in your essay. So I have these mnemonic devices and acronyms for you to kind of keep in your head, and it's going to make it easier to remember and what we can be thinking about while peer reviewing our friends' papers. So you might think, oh, this is silly, this is dumb. It's not. It's going to help you, it's going to help me, it's going to help everybody's grades, okay? So while we are revising, we're going to be thinking about adding words. Okay, so that is, does someone need an adjective in their sentence and doesn't have one? Okay, so we'll say, boop, add this adjective to modify this noun. When we are revising, we are going to be thinking about removing words. So maybe a sentence has too many adverbs. And you say, oh, I don't need to say, well, the fox went down the hole super very a lot quickly. First of all, that sentence doesn't even make sense, okay? So that's where you remove the words. When we're revising, we're going to be thinking about moving words. So that goes with your sentence structure that we talked about. Is my adjective, adverb, noun in the right place in the sentence? So we can move words around. We could say, I like this adverb, but it's not in the right place to modify the verb, okay? And then when revising, we're going to be thinking about substituting words. Okay, so that is when we have a word written, and we could probably use another word on a higher vocabulary level that will help move our essay again from that B+ to an A. Okay, so keep these in mind. Keep arms in mind when revising. So while editing, we're going to be thinking about cups. Okay. So editing, again, like I said, is super specific. So while editing, we're going to be thinking about capitalization. Are all the words that need to be capitalized, capitalized? Are the words that don't need to be capitalized, not capitalized, okay? And then we're going to be thinking about usage. So am I using the right words in the right way? So am I using this noun as a noun? Am I using this verb as a verb? Things like that. Very, very simple, but things that are really going to make a difference in your essay. And then we're going to be thinking about punctuation. Super important that all of our sentences end in a period. Super important that we have commas in the right place. Super important that we use semicolons. A lot of times I find people are scared to use semicolons, and I love semicolons, okay? There's a great deal of use for them, and people sometimes just forget about them and throw them away. So that's my little rant about semicolons today, but really use them. They are great, and they will make a difference in your paper, and they will make a difference in me reading your paper and saying, wow, this person knows how to use a semicolon, okay? I love semicolons. Okay, and then last in our cups is spelling. Oh, and this one makes me sigh. Why? Because I am a high school English teacher, and I am not a great speller. Okay, surprise, surprise. I'm not. I never have been, and I think it is because I grew up in a world of spell check. You know, where Word or PowerPoint just, spells, my little line comes under it, spells the right word for me, and I'm like, woo, yay. Don't even have to worry about it, okay? But the thing is that spell check does not catch everything. And And I have looked like a fool before turning in a paper to a college professor, and I put the word chose when it should have been choose, okay, because I spelled it wrong. You know, that extra O is real important. So, spelling is important. So that's why you have your friends there to catch those spelling errors that maybe Word or PowerPoint did not catch for you. With its super technologically advanced, whatever. Yeah, so it doesn't always work, and that's why you need human interaction, and you need peer reviewing, peer editing. Okay, so now we are going to talk about some examples of everything that we just spent 10 minutes talking about. So, I'm going to keep using this. And I'm going to use my red marker to edit with. And it's super important. I want everybody to have a red pen, and I'll have some on my desk for you to use while peer editing, because I do not grade in red. I like a certain pen, and they don't come in red anyway, so that's the point. I will not grade in red, so that way you or your friend can always make sure that you know if it's red marks, it's not from me, it's from your friend. Okay, so let's first talk about right here. I wrote a squiggle on a straight line by word choice. So going back to when you have a word spelled wrong in Word, that little red squiggle will come under there. Well, we are going to use our red squiggle for when we think about word choice. So let's say we have a sentence. Let's see. And I'm going to use this sentence for multiple examples. Okay. The United States population is growing faster and faster by the day. Okay, let's think about this sentence right here. This sentence is in our friend's essay, and we're reading and come across this sentence. Let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about word choice. Okay, the United States population is growing faster and faster by the day. Okay. Faster and faster. I'm reading this and I'm thinking, my dog goes faster than my cat. And then I'm thinking, I probably read that in a children's book. Okay? Nothing against children's books, okay? But we as intellectual high school students can come up with a word, or, this is 3 words for it, faster and faster, that might be better suited for that place in the sentence. So the United States population is growing faster and faster by the day. The United States population is growing rapidly. So I've got my squiggle. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say rapidly. And I'm going to put a little question mark right here. Okay? So this is my way of saying to my friend, try this word. Okay? And then, but if we enter this word, okay, so let's say we want to change it to the United States population is growing rapidly by the day. Does that make sense? Maybe not. Maybe this comes to sentence structure. Okay, so here we're going to remove a word, we're going to add a word, okay, and now we're going to talk about sentence structure. So, the United States population is growing rapidly by the day. Maybe you could get by with that, but if you think of a better way to word that sentence, then you might write it on the side. Put rapidly, substitute rapidly, arms, substitute rapidly for faster and faster, and then try rewording your sentence in this way. Okay, and now, let's say we're going to talk about capitalization. The United States is supposed to be capitalized, is it? No. Okay, so we're going to simply mark it out and write the correct capitalization. Don't scribble it out. That's a no-no, because then your friend can't see what you're correcting. Okay, and they might not remember why are you doing that. Okay, so simple things like that. Then, punctuation. The United States population. we need a yes to show possession. Whose population? The United